Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your man TWC Hollow here in the Hollow's Den. Today, we're talking about my top 10 NFL linebackers for the 2025 NFL season. So let's get to it from 1 to 10. Starting from 10 to 1. Number 10 cracking this list, I got Dre Greenlaw, man, on this list for the Denver Broncos. He hasn't really played these last couple years, due to the Achilles injury, but his last two full seasons averaging over 120 total tackles, 75 solos, 45 assists in the last two seasons. A hell of a run stopper, uh, good in coverage. But now he does have the Achilles injury coming off the injury for the Denver Broncos. But he's signed with them now with the new team. But I still think he's an impactful player and will be an impactful linebacker with the Denver Broncos defense, man. From two defensive line, Nick Benito, Allen, and now for the safeties and Patrick Surtain. So Fungus there, former Niner as well, with Dre Greenlaw. So that would be interesting to see how the Denver Broncos defense go. But he still is an impact player, and I got him at number 10. Before we go on, let me mention my honorable mentions for this list. I got Elgin Cooper for the Green Bay Packers, man, rising young upcoming linebacker for the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers defense going to be looking special this season. They already had pieces. Now you got pieces on the defensive line with Micah Parsons. You got the linebacker, like I said, with Cooper. You got still Cooper, the safety with McKinney there. So it's ready for Green Bay Packers, and I think they're going to have a prime year. But Edgerrin Cooper, man, he's a rising linebacker. He's been proven. He will have a great season for the Packers this year. And my other linebacker, another NFC North linebacker, Jack Campbell from the Detroit Lions. Another run stopper. He's young, so he probably get better as coverage as well. But look for him to be vital for the Lions defense this season, along with Aiden Hutchinson and others, Terry Arnold, Brian Bench, Trevor Joseph, my boy Matt Rodriguez, so he's still there. So shout out to Detroit Lions, but shout out to Jack Campbell and Elgin Cooper for my honorable mentions. But let's get to number 9 on this list. Number 9, I got the old veteran. These next two players, man, both played in 2022, and they're still kicking and still solid and getting it in. But number 9, Bobby Wagner from the Washington Commanders. Last season, man, he had 132 tackles, 75 solo, 57 assists, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, had no interception, but still was as impactful as a run stopper, a blitzer, and even in coverage as well. Still had his own for BobbyWagner, just a veteran, man, and the linebackers. Been in this position for a while, but for the Commanders, they had a good season last year. They building on that where they got Terry McLaurin back, so it's looking good for the Commanders. But their defense, man, is not none to sneeze at. It's their linebacker core. I got another player from the linebacker core that will be mentioned in this video soon. But like I said, Bobby Wagner, a proven linebacker, hell of a run stopper, tackler, defender, blitz stopper. And you just gotta respect him. You gotta look for him on every play where Bobby Wagner is going to be. But number 8, I got Lavonte David from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Another player who's been active in the field since 2012. Him and Bobby Wagner came out the same draft year. Man, it's crazy. But for Lavonte David, 122 total tackles, 76 solo, 46 assists, 5.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, man. This man's been about business. He's been standing on 10. And Buccaneers defense, they always had a top 12, top 10, top 12 defense for the league. You still got Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield, you got pieces there on that defensive line for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just look for their defense to just be even more better. And, they're still, got some pieces as well. But Lavonte David is still one of the best linebackers in the NFL. His stats say why he is, because, man, he's been proven, and he's not letting Father Time get to him no time soon. So look for Lavonte David just have another top 10 NFL linebacker season for my top 10 NFL linebacker list. But number 7, I got Nick Bolton from the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, another linebacker who's good at the run stopping as well. Hell of a blister for Kansas City Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo defense. He's been with them for a couple of years. Last season, he had a good season for Kansas City Chiefs. 16 games played, 106 total tackles, 78 solo, 33 assists. He had 3 sacks, one forced fumble, two fumble recoveries, and an interception as well. So he's been around and he knows the defense. Steve Pat knows the defense well. So just another going into I think his 5th year of going to NFL. So just another season, another NFL linebacker that's ready, and he's going to take another step this season as the Kansas City Chiefs. They got a lot of things do. They got some tough teams, but their defense is still young. They got a young defense as well. So not many mistakes going to happen, and everybody defense will gel. So Nick Bolton, like I said, he will have another good solid season for Kansas City Chiefs, and he's my number 7 top 10 NFL linebacker. Number 6, I got Blake Cashman for the Minnesota Vikings, cracking the list, man. He's on the list. 112 total tackles, 68 solo, 44 assists, 4.5 sacks, one forced fumble, 0 interceptions, man. But this Minnesota Vikings defense last year was nice, and they got better. On paper, they got better because I almost forgot Jonathan Allen's there. He still got some pieces on defense. Harrison Smith there. So it. Van Gecko, so don't even sleep on the Lions defense. I mean, I'm on the Minnesota Vikings defense. Sorry about that, Minnesota Vikings defense. But for the Vikings, Blake Cashman he had a hell of a year last year for 16 games for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's going to have another solid year. Their defensive line is stout. The linebackers there will know Van Gilko. So don't sneeze on the Vikings as well. We'll see what the offense does, with JJ McCarthy. But the defense is there, and they're ready to take a stand and show them why they're one of the top 5 defense on paper for a reason. And so Blake Cashman will be another reason why the Vikings defense and the Vikings go far this year in the NFL. So Blake Cashman, number 6 on my list. But number 5, let's get to our top 5 NFL linebackers. Frankie Lavonte for the Washington Commanders. Man, he had a hell of a season last year for the Commanders. 17 games played, 99 total tackles, 54 solo, 45 assists, 8 sacks, one forced fumble, 2 fumble recovery, 1 interception. This man was a hell of a blitzer. Him and BobbyWagner was one of the top 2, top 3 linebacker duo, if not, linebacker duo last season, because they were just at it, man. They were at it, and they both are dissectors on that defense for the Washington Commanders. And boy, that was a hell of a pickup for the Commanders getting him, and he's been proven. Frankie Lavonte, so I just look at him and have another respect to you. He's going to get some more interceptions this year because he's been around covering good covers, linebackers as well. But that blitz and that run, him and BobbyWagner is nothing to play about. Don't think y'all can get one up on them because they ready for it. They breathe to stop the run. They breathe to stop the run, and that's what they do and get after the quarterback. Like I said, 8 sacks last season. That just speaks value of what he does on the field and what he really does in the film room about his assignment as well for Washington Commanders. But like I said, another linebacker, another healthy linebacker that will have a proven season, even better season. So Frankie Lavonte for the Washington Commanders. Number 4, I got Quincy Williams for the New York Jets cracking this list, man. He is an underrated linebacker, one of the fastest linebackers, smart, go out the run, and good in coverage. 17 game played last year, 116 total tackles, 76 solo, 46 assists, 2 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, man. For the New York Jets, Quincy Williams, man, nobody really talks about him, but I'm going to talk about him, man. He's a hell of a linebacker, and he's getting better. For the Jets defense, they got a lot to go at, but they still got stars in that defense. Got Quentin Williams on the defensive line. We still got Quentin Williams on the defensive line. Williams on the linebacker. Gardner's still there. So for the Jets defense, they just had the pieces together and get at it. I think their defense is going to be key for them this year as well. Just to help the offense out, as they figure things out for Justin Fields, going to be as they gel too. But I think the defense will be there this season. And Quincy Williams, like I said, another is really the most underrated linebacker I think in the NFL overall. And I think he will have a hell of a season. He'll have a hell of a season this year and be proven why he's still really a top 5 NFL linebacker. Because he is a top 5 linebacker, but I think he would be really solidify his name again this upcoming season. So Quincy Williams, I got number 4. Number 3, Roquan Smith, the general from Georgia, man, at the Baltimore Ravens on number 3, 150 total tackles, 86 solo, 78 assists, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception. But Roquan Smith, he's been that guy when he was in Chicago, got traded to Ravens, been there for a couple years now, just going into another season with that Ravens defense who is loaded, man. They are ready for the Baltimore Ravens. They ready to take a stand and go after some teams and really get that Lombardi Trophy this year. But Roquan Smith will be a main reason, one of the main reasons why, with other figures for the Baltimore Ravens like Lamar Jackson and others. But on that defense wide, he will be one of the main reasons with him, Kyle Hamilton, like Jair Alexander, but defense line as well is nothing to sneeze at, man. Oh my God. So, but Roquan Smith, I think we have another great year, and the Baltimore Ravens, their defense look to get en route to get ready to catch our Super Bowl this year. So I got Roquan Smith, number 3, one of the best linebackers, top 3 linebackers in the NFL for the Baltimore Ravens, but overall in the NFL. But number 2, I got Fred Warner for San Francisco 49ers, man. Fred Warner is, if not the best, but last season he was number 2 because number 1 proved why he was the best linebacker, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Fred Warner's net is always going to be at the top of the food chain in his position, though. But 17 games played last year, 131 total tackles, 76 assists, 58 assists, 1 sack, 4 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, man, for the San Francisco 49ers. And Fred Warner, his defense was a little shaky, but Fred Warner still stood on his name and still stood on 10 and had a hell of a year of just another productive season. But I look for him to have a better year from last season and get back to that top number 1 linebacker list. But, number 1, though, we'll talk about that in a minute. But like I said, Fred Warner is still one of the top of the best food chain. We know he didn't have a down year, just didn't have a great year. He had a good year for San Francisco 49ers, and he's still number 2 on the list. Like I said, 2 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 1 sack. So it's nothing to sneeze at for Fred Warner, and a hell of a coverage linebacker, run stopper, blitzer, sack. So do not sneeze at him. But number 1 on our list, you got Zach Bond from the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me tell you about Zach Bond. Came in for the Philadelphia Eagles last season as a 1-year deal, signed a 1-year deal for the Philadelphia Eagles. They did not think he would be the starting linebacker, but ended up proving wise. 155 total tackles, 93 solo, 58 assists, 3.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interceptions. So this guy was a man on a mission, and he ended up got paid and won the Super Bowl. Commander defense for the Philadelphia Eagles, Vic Fangio defense. And now this season he looks to be even better with Jahad Campbell on the other side. So this is a watch out for Zach Bond and the Philadelphia Eagles. But Zach Bond, he's been proven these last couple years. He haven't had a good year at the Saints when he left from the Saints to go to the Eagles. He had a solid year there as a hell of a tackler and still proving there. Got better at the sacks, blitzing, and even now better as a coverage linebacker as well, stopping tight ends, stopping cover receivers. In that middle, it wasn't nothing getting completed for real. So Zach Bond was the best linebacker last year in the NFL, and that's my number 1 linebacker in the NFL. So let me go back from 10 to 1. Number 10, I got Dre Greenlaw for the Denver Broncos. Number 9, I got Bobby Wagner from the Washington Commanders. Number 8, I got Lavonte David from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 7, I got Nick Bolton from the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 6, I got Blake Cashman from the Minnesota Vikings. Number 5, I got Frankie Lavu from the Washington Commanders. Number 4, I got Quincy Williams from the New York Jets. Number 3, I got Roquan Smith from the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, I got Fred Warner from San Francisco 49ers. Number 1, I got Zach Bond from the Philadelphia Eagles. And my honorable mentions are Edgerrin Cooper from the Green Bay Packers and Jack Campbell from the Detroit Lions. So tune in, like, subscribe, comment what you think about my list. It's still more of the list we're going to get done before Sunday. So tune in, like, subscribe here in the Hollows Den. We still got stuff to get done in the house then. But till then, when you subscribe, look at our other videos, and we post as well for our top 10 receivers, running backs, tight ends as well. Go look at that, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about that. But till then, just man, TWC Hollow in the Den. We still no slums, getting that done, man. Till the Hollow Den, and we are out.